Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio. It is Friday, November 25th. Hopefully everyone survived U.S. Thanksgiving and are ready to get back into business here with the NBA. The NBA's back following a day off and a full Friday card. Ian Cameron, Skee Prophet, Billy Briz, ready to break it all down. Let's get right into it. It's a massive slate. We will start with a game that's tipping off. Note the start time, next hour, 5 p.m. Eastern. This game will start Minnesota and Charlotte. The Timberwolves now 6-point road favorites, 227. Is the total here in this game, which has been bet up as well. I like the over for sure. I'm on the fence with Minnesota. I mean, I certainly understand the move because Charlotte is without, obviously, once again, Lonzo Ball, or LaMelo Ball, I should say, is going to be out once again for Charlotte. Gordon Hayward's injured. Cody Martin, Dennis Smith, they've got some injuries. They were going to have to rely a lot for their scoring on Rozier and Oubre, the backcourt. That's concerning. Minnesota, on the other hand, looks like their main question mark is Rudy Gobert, who is questionable for this game due to a left ankle sprain. But Minnesota's starting to play a little bit better. They've won 5 straight games. They crushed Indiana 115-101 the game before Thanksgiving. Charlotte did get a nice win, 107-101 against Philly, but shorthanded Sixers team that gutted it out the night before against Brooklyn. It was the perfect spot for Charlotte to take advantage, and they did that. So I understand why people are betting Minnesota. I still get the, butterflies in the stomach, if you will, thinking about laying 6.5 with Minnesota on the road, but I understand why they're doing it. I just prefer the over. What do you think here, Skee, Minnesota and Charlotte?
Yeah, I could understand the over. I think if I'm playing this one, I'd probably lean towards Minnesota just because I'm still not sold on what they've been doing yet, but they've at least, won 5 of their last 6 games. I still want to see them do a little bit more consistently. And Charlotte, on the flip side, they're going the opposite direction. They only won 2 of their last 7. No LaMelo, right? So
yep.
It's just a lean. I haven't been putting my money on the Timberwolves lately, but I could only look their way in this game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, but I'm like you. I'm a little hesitant, but I certainly wouldn't take Charlotte with who's out of the lineup right now. What do you think here, Billy?
I lean towards the Timberwolves side. I kind of don't want to get involved inside a 5:00 p.m. basketball game overall because, if this game was played at a different time, maybe the times don't mean too much, but it means a little bit to me here. I would lean Minnesota team total over. That's been cashing of recent. They've been scoring a lot of points. It feels like, 115 their last game, 105. 112, 126, 129 in the last 5. So, they've been scoring a lot of points of recent. If they win this game, I think that team total over should hit. But I wouldn't mind taking the Minnesota on that opener at 4.5. But I'm seeing 6.5 in some spots. So money's coming in on Minnesota, and I don't disagree with it at all.
All right. Next up, we've got Philly, Orlando. Orlando, 2.5-point home favorites here, 213 the total. It's the B squad. Once again, it looks like tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers, much like it's been the last 2 games. Although they did get a nice gutted out win against Brooklyn, but back-to-back they lost to Charlotte with pretty much this same group. Once again tonight, there's no Embiid, no Harden, no Maxey, no Thibault. It's basically been the same 4 that they've been without the last couple of games. So it's Shake Milton. We've got DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, P.J. Tucker, Montrezl Harrell, the starting 5 projected for Philly tonight. Orlando is still without, Anthony Fultz, guys that have been out for a while. Wendell Carter has also been banged up here the last couple of games. He's missed 3 of the last 4 with this ongoing foot issue that he has. It looks like he didn't participate in the shoot-around, so he's going to be a game-time decision this morning. I give Philly credit for the Brooklyn win with this shorthanded group. They fell flat the next game. Orlando on the other side, they've lost 4 of their last 5. This is a tough game. I'm passing, but if you made me choose, even Philly's B squad, I think I'd rather take them and the plus points than lay anything with the Magic right now. But it's nothing I'm excited about either side. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, it's simple for me. I'm not going to bet this game, but I'm not laying points with Orlando. That's just simply how I feel. I get it. You're getting some guys back in the lineup. And Banchero, he hasn't played in a little while. He could be a little bit rusty. I just certain teams, personally, I feel like they shouldn't be a favorite. And when it shows up that way, if I don't feel strong enough for the other side, I would just stay off the game. So I'm waiting on Philadelphia till they get their guys back in the lineup.
Yeah, and at the same time, there's also those games where it's the B squad and there's many key starters, key cogs out, and the team rallies around it and wins. They did that against Brooklyn. And really, the Charlotte game, they didn't play that terribly. I think they ran out of gas. These are guys playing minutes they're not used to. It was a back-to-back situation as well for Philly. I'd definitely rather, like if you said you got to take something here, I'd certainly rather have Philly plus 2.5, even with the shorthanded group, than Orlando laying points. Exactly right. Not a team I trust in the favorites role, not playing well enough to be trusted, in my opinion, in the favorites role. Billy, what do you think about this one?
From a side perspective, I think that we'll get a better scenario about these two teams because these two teams play again in the same exact scenario on Sunday, literally in Orlando, Philly on the road again. So seems like get a feel of what happens in the first game, then bet the second time that they play on Sunday. Sunday is usually a day that the NBA goes under the radar with all the NFL games going on. But I like D'Anthony Melton over 2.5 3-pointers. This has been a really good spot for him. Melton's been shooting 39% from 3-point this season, averaging 9.7 3-point attempts over his last 3 games. And he's only shot 22% of those 9 attempts in the last game. But overall, Orlando allows the third most 3 points attempted in the league. So D'Anthony Melton up and over that 3-point total again. It's been money in the bank if we're going to ride it out one more time.
There you go. That's what you should do with a prop that you found success with. If you're winning with it game after game after game, you keep going to it. That's definitely, I always say ride the streaks, whether they're sides, totals, player props, whatever. Ride the streaks. You're usually going to be in good shape. All right, Portland and New York. Next up here, Knicks 3.5-point home favorites, 217.5 being the total in this game. The Knicks 9-9, pretty much exactly where they should be. I mean, this team's been just all over the place with their results so far this year. They are coming off a beatdown of Oklahoma City, a little bit of a revenge beatdown, if you will, because Oklahoma City went into Madison Square last week and just hung a 145 spot on them. So you kind of figured the Knicks would want to get back at them, and they did. 129-119. We'll see if they can carry that success over to this one. Portland's kind of gone back downward a little bit. A pretty impressive start to the year, but not exactly playing their best ball at the moment. They've lost 4 straight games, albeit the schedule's been pretty tough on them, right? They played Brooklyn. Utah obviously has played better than we thought, and then Milwaukee and Cleveland. So it's not like they played a light schedule there, but they did lose all 4 of those games. As far as the lineup goes, once again, there's no Damian Lillard for Portland. It's been more of the same status quo there. It looks like Mitchell Robinson game time decision for the Knicks tonight, along with Reddish and Derrick Rose for this one. I'm still not loving the idea of laying the points at home with New York in this game. Remember, as home favorites, they I think depending on the number, either lost or pushed with the Pistons result. They lost outright as favorites. The last time they were home favorites, they're coming off a road trip. Although they've had a few days off. Portland continuing on this little road trip. I don't know. I lean Portland, but it's another one where I don't feel confident enough to pull the trigger. So it's going to be a pass. What do you think here, Skee? Portland, New York.
I feel a lot of different ways about this game, and I'll start off by saying the New York Knicks. I just don't feel like they should be favored. Another team where I'm not laying any kind of points with them. I really don't care who it is that they play. So with that in mind, I already want to look for a reason to fade them. You can look at this next one. I mean, I see people debating, and I've had people ask me this morning. I see Jay Money mentioning on Twitter if Portland or these other teams are traveling back home and then traveling again. But so you can look at it that way if you think you want to fade Portland. But I'm looking at it as New York. They were on the road for 5 straight games. Finally came back to the house, did the Thanksgiving thing, and who knows what the effort level is going to be like in this one. So teams off that flat spot, 5 or more game road trip, and have the rest advantage because it is 3 days rest compared to 1 here. They're only 39.7% against the spread, and the average spread was -2.5, which is right around where we have today. So teams in this situation haven't been successful. Portland and also New York could look at Portland without Dame and just think they have an easy game here. Same way. I mean, we've seen that plenty of times. Portland so far 6-2-1 as a road dog. They're 4-2-1 without Damian Lillard against the spread so far this year. They've been the better offensive rated team and rebounding team the last 5 games, even with losing 4 straight. And to what you said, Ian, they played the Cavs, I think, the
Tough
Bucks,
schedule.
and the Nets.
Yep.
So I'm more of a believer in what I've been seeing from Portland. I don't really care that Lillard is out because he was stinking it up his last game. He was in there anyway. So I'm on the Blazers side in this game. Plus the 3.5. I think they can win this game.
They have shown you pieces of evidence without him that they can compete. And again, they've had a tough schedule, right? Milwaukee, Cleveland, Brooklyn was in the mix. Utah's played better. New York's probably not on that level, honestly, compared to those 4 teams. So maybe this step down in class helps Portland tonight. And they're the underdog. They're catching points. So, yeah, Portland certainly I would take them before New York in this game. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, I think this line got away a little bit, opened up at 5.5 now, down to 3.5. You're going to be on Portland. You should have taken it early. But we talked about this last Friday when New York made that trip up to Golden State, and we're talking about Steph Curry's points, rebounds, and assists, about how the New York Knicks rank bottom 5 against opposing point guards, points, rebounds, and assists. So with no Damian Lillard in there, sets up for a great spot for Anthony Simons, over 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -125. He's going to have all the usage for this Portland team, and a good matchup. Friday night lights, it's the Garden. Big time players step up in big games, and we're going to need Anthony Simons to be a big time player tonight.
All right, there we go. Anthony Simonized tonight at the Madison Square Garden for Portland tonight. All right, New Orleans.
Real quick. I just peeked. I have the Blazers as 8-2 against the spread on the road this season. New York Knicks are 2-4 against the spread at the house. Interesting. I didn't know they were 8-2 on the road.
Really good. Yeah, Road Warriors, ATS, the Portland Trail Blazers. As you know, Cleveland, obviously that fell flat for them last game, but even the Milwaukee game, and we were kind of leaning Portland a little bit at Milwaukee, and they were competitive, right? That game start to finish against the Bucks. So you're right, they've been a good road team, ATS, the Portland Trail Blazers this year, with improved defense, which you got to give obviously Billups a little bit of credit for that. New Orleans and Memphis. Memphis, we got 2-point home favorites here, 227. Is the total in this one. We've got the Grizzlies, obviously pretty good home record this year, 6-2 from a straight up standpoint. They pretty much just have to win this game. They're off back-to-back losses to Brooklyn and Sacramento. They're looking to bounce back. New Orleans on the other side. I didn't have any issues laying the points with them at San Antonio. I said, even though it's 7, it's a big number. San Antonio's just been terrible, and the Pelicans put it to them, 129-110. The other game. They're playing some nice basketball right now, the Pelicans. Been also impressed with them at the defensive end of the basketball. If you actually look at the Pelicans defensively right now, number 2 in 3-point defense, field goal percentage numbers are all right. They're pretty good on the offensive end as well. So been impressed here with what we've seen from the New Orleans Pelicans as of so far, 11-7 on the season. As far as tonight's matchup against Memphis goes, we've got, it looks like McCollum out for the Pelicans. That's the big loss, the big absence for them. Trey Murphy, game time decision. But then Memphis also a very beat up, banged up basketball team right now. Desmond Bane remains out. Steven Adams, game time decision. So a couple of key cogs there you're going to want to keep an eye on. And if Steven Adams, questionable for the Grizzlies, doesn't play, certainly makes you think JV for the Pelicans becomes a good option in terms of maybe some player props here tonight in this game. I'm waiting to see where the lineups go, but right now I'm definitely not stepping in front of the Pelicans. I will say that. So if I were to bet this one, it would be the New Orleans side. I'm just waiting to confirm who's going to be available to Memphis before also. But I'm probably going to be on New Orleans, so I'll just tell you that right now. What do you think here, Skee?
I would just focus on player prop. You hear a lot of who's in and who's out, and I don't want to deal with it. So Memphis at the house. I know Ja kills it at the crib. His rebounds and assists number is 13.5. He's cleared it 6 of his last 7 home games, averaging closer to 15.5. So Ja Morant, rebounds plus assists over 13.5 is the best bet in this one.
All right, Ja Morant there, prop for Skee. All right, Billy. Up, you're muted.
I'm with Skee. I think the prop market's the way to attack for this game. Without CJ McCollum being out there in the lineup, Brandon Ingram gets a nice little usage rating bump. I like his over 5.5 assists at -115. Ingram last game without CJ, he had 12 assists on 15 potential assists. opportunities. And in the last 9 games that he played last season without McCollum, he hit it 7 out of his last 9 games. And that was without Zion being on the floor. So it seems like a good spot for Brandon Ingram to get over those 5.5 assists.
All right, there we go. Liking Ingram over assists. All right, Brooklyn and Indiana coming up next. We've got Brooklyn 3.5-point road favorites, 233.5 being the total in this game. Obviously, Brooklyn 9-10, already been a season. It's almost like we've had a season full of storylines and drama and controversy in a month from this Brooklyn Nets team. And 9-10 here they are. They are coming off a win against Toronto. Toronto was beaten up to shit, though. I mean, totally ravaged and depleted in that game. I don't know if I want to make too big of a deal of Brooklyn winning that game. Now they're going to have to go on the road, face this Pacers team that 7-3 in their last 10 games. They played pretty well. These teams have played each other twice already, and the Pacers have covered twice, including an outright win, 125-116, which I believe came right before Steve Nash was given his walking papers. So I think when you look at it, Indiana's played Brooklyn pretty tough. They covered the rematch 2 nights later. They played in Brooklyn again, 116-109 in that one. The difference is, Indiana was a sizable dog here. You're only getting 3.5 with them, but you are getting them at the house here in Indiana, where they have a 6-4 record. I still like the Pacers here, honestly. I mean, I Brooklyn, I'm not ready to lay points with them, the 3.5 in this game. One game they're up, one game they're down. They have won 3 of their last 4 games. I get it, but I don't want to make too much of a big deal of what they did against the Raptors the other night, who were really shorthanded big time in that game. As far as the Nets, they actually, for once, look like they're going to be as healthy as they've been in quite some time for this matchup against the Pacers. Pacers, looks like the main concerns are Duarte's been out for a while, but it looks like Isaiah Jackson and Andrew Nembhard for them, both a game time decision. But I still like the Pacers here, plus 3.5. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, this the Black Friday deal right here. They dropped his assist back down to 10.5 from 11.5. I have no idea why, because he's cleared this 10.5 number 6 of the last 7 games. And to what you just said, those 7 games were since Duarte's out. He just has a lot more playmaking responsibilities, and he can do it even when he's in. So Halliburton, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Over 10.5 assists.
There it is, Ty Halliburton. It has been a Ty Halliburton prop party on the NBA Pub Hub show pretty much all season long so far, and probably will continue to be. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, I'm with Skee in this one, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to call him Skee. I'm sorry, Skee, about that. I like the Halliburton points and assists. I feel like last time that they played against each other, I was kind of shocked about how easily he was getting towards the bucket. And he had I'm speaking off the top of my head, but I think it was 20-plus points in the first half. It was against the Brooklyn Nets. So I kind of want to get the points involved in this one. I think I'm going to take points and assist over.
Good stuff there. Next up, we've got Cleveland and Milwaukee. Milwaukee 4.5 now. Home favorites here, 215.5 the total in this game. Always they've had question marks in terms of multiple players for the Bucks in terms of who's in, who's out as of late. Drew Holiday's come back the last 3 games. Now he's back on the injury list, but it looks like he's been upgraded to probable and will suit up tonight for the Bucks against Cleveland. So that probably explains why we've seen some money come in here on them recently here. We've got Connaughton also game time decision. Middleton remains out, but Giannis will play. So decent looking lineup tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. Cleveland, Garland, Mitchell, Wade, Mobley, Allen looking like they're starting 5. LeVert, Love, Rubio remain out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Milwaukee's been a strange team where they got off to that incredible start. If you were riding them, you were obviously raking in the cash. They were winning. They were covering every game. It's not been that way lately. Bucks enter this game limping a bit, just 2-4 straight up, and 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. And they just haven't won games easily. They haven't won some games they've lost, and the games they've won, haven't been easy other than the win against Cleveland at home back on November the 16th. We'll see if they can once again notch another victory against the Cavs tonight. But I'm just letting them drift this line up a little bit closer to the point where I'm going to get more interested in Cleveland if this line keeps climbing the way it is. I know they're off that loss to Chicago. That is the concern. Bucks aren't going to be too thrilled with losing to the Bulls the other night. It was a pretty poor performance by their standards, but I'm not ready to lay 4.5. And if this line creeps up any further, I'm going to have to grab some Cleveland here, a team that's just been so good to me all year. What do you think here, Skee?
Well, the Bucks should have been disappointed with their performance the last 2 weeks. They've only won 2 games, and they've only covered one. So I'm not thinking they're just going to turn it around off of one bad game. It's been bad basketball for a while now. So with that said, I played this one kind of early, and that one that they covered, you already mentioned, was versus the Cavs. But it was no Jared Allen in that game. And when you play against Giannis, the biggest thing is paint protection. If you don't have that, you're dead. So having Jared Allen back in the lineup is a huge plus, huge boost. But now a lot of these guys on the bench have been ruled out for the Cavaliers. I still have to go with the team I think has been playing better basketball. Top 10 offensive rated, defensive rated team last 5 games. And Milwaukee is the number 1 rebounding team in that same span, but Cavaliers can challenge them as long as Allen is in the lineup. So I'll roll with the Cavaliers this go around plus the points.
Yeah, I agree. If it's Cleveland or pass for me, and like I say, I'm just going to wait for the line maybe to drift another half a point higher. Who knows? But even at 4.5, I'm probably going to get involved with the Cavaliers here. They're right. The benches, there is a lot of their bench production. A lot of their reserves are banged up as well. I get that, but cobble it together for one game. I think they're capable of it here against Milwaukee. What do you think here, Billy Briz?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go against you guys, man. It was that road trip that the last time that the Cavs went on, man, they looked horrible away from home. I know it was a West Coast road trip, 0-4, last 4 ATS games on the road, and they haven't really been playing in Milwaukee that well. Cleveland's 2-7 ATS in their last 9 meetings in Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee here to cover at home. Feels like a pretty short number, 7-3 ATS in our last 10 home games, and add a nice little narrative streak to it. Do you think Giannis is really out here celebrating Thanksgiving? He's great, man. He was chilling at the crib. He got a rest day. While these Cavs players were eating stuffing, candy yams, and mac and cheese, Giannis was sitting at his house with his brother, and they were playing video games. Give me Giannis and the boys to back this number 4.5. I love it. Exotic backwood here.
All right, there you go. Giannis to show up because he did not celebrate Thanksgiving like the rest of the country. It's like the same thing with the hockey with Paul Bissonnette asking Alex Ovechkin, what did you do for Thanksgiving? He's Russian, man. I mean, my goodness. I mean, don't ask him that. He probably didn't even think twice that it was Thanksgiving in the United States yesterday. But people assume it because you're living and you're plying your trade in the U.S. right now. You're celebrating Thanksgiving. It doesn't work that way.
If anything, he was handing out free turkeys for the people, man. He wasn't out here with the family. I doubt Giannis is flying in everybody from Greece all the way over to Milwaukee just to have Thanksgiving feast, man. That's an American holiday. Giannis ain't American. He's nice and rested in this one. I just can't back Cleveland on the road after that last trip, man. I like the Bucks here in this spot.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Atlanta and Houston next up. Atlanta, 8-point road favorites, 232, a high total in this one with the Hawks and the Rockets. Atlanta bounced back. A lot of people thought they would do just that against Sacramento, 115-106, cool off the Kings. They did that. They got the 9-point win in that game. Now they hit the road here to take on the Houston Rockets. Actually, the last 3 games, they were in a really bad way in terms of the performances. Prior to the last 3, they had the win against Dallas as underdogs outright, pretty competitive in defeat against Indiana, against Golden State in their last game, 127-120, losing to the Warriors. And the Warriors were full strength in that game as well. So to only lose by 7 in that one, pretty solid if you're the Rockets. Can they compete here? Atlanta, they play Miami on Sunday after this. This is a back-to-back for Houston, front end of a back-to-back. They're hosting Oklahoma City tomorrow night. So it is a little bit of a back, pace yourself type of spot potentially here for Houston. That being said, I don't really love the idea of laying 8 with Atlanta. I'm probably going to stay off. The mind is telling me in the back of my head, the voice in my head is saying, stay off this game when it's all said and done. Even though I certainly would lean a little bit to the Rockets side. I'm not comfortable ever really laying this many points on the road with Atlanta. They are fully healthy. As far as Houston goes, they're banged up. We've got Jalen Green, a game-time decision for them with a sore toe, although he's been upgraded to probable. So looks like good news on that front. Eric Gordon's out. I left my wallet, and Elson Gundo is also questionable with a groin injury for Houston. So keep an eye on that. But passing the game, but I'll throw out a lean at least to Houston. I don't think I'll bet there. I'll get there, though, with a wager with the Rockets. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, man. Bobano don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. Back with this motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah, well said. And less verbiage. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, man. I walked outside after the Thanksgiving meal, and I saw that everybody was smoking, but it smelled like some Reggie, man. Back with that bitch.
All right.
All right, on we go now to the next game on the card: Chicago and Oklahoma City. Chicago 3.5 point road favorites, 232.5 the total in this game. The Bulls off the huge win against Milwaukee, team that really owned them. And look, Chicago 118, 113, and that's back-to-back good performances against good competition. Boston and Milwaukee being two of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. Now they're laying about a 3.5 spot here on the road against Oklahoma City. It looks like Lonzo Ball, of course, still out. Everybody else healthy pretty much for Chicago. Oklahoma City, again, fairly healthy team themselves other than Muscala. And all this Thunder team does is just, hang in there in every single recent game for the most part. They've been a competitive squad. They have lost 3 in a row straight up in ATS. So you wonder if they're starting to, run on fumes a little bit. Really, it's their defense that continues to let them down. That's why they've been just a phenomenal over team in this recent run they've put together. 8 straight Oklahoma City games have gone over the total. Right now, Oklahoma City is 29th in terms of points per game allowed, but their offense, I'm telling you what, they're 5th in the NBA in points, 14th field goal percentage, which is upper half of the league, bolstered, of course, or powered by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's been terrific for the Thunder all season long. I'm just going to, stick with what has been clearly working, and that's been all offense, no defense ways of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And after a couple of intense games against good competition, it would just be so Chicago to just fall off defensively, and I think they might here, so fall asleep. So I like over the total. I lean Thunder, but I just think right now the best thing to do is just stick with their totals going up and over. What do you think here, Skee?
I would lean Thunder just because I feel like it's one of these spots where, Chicago cared about their last game a lot more than this one, getting a little bit of playoff revenge versus the Bucks and then Thanksgiving too, just maybe a little bit of an exhale. But at the same time, Thunder play tomorrow. It doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence to back that side because they could save some of those minutes. So it's tough for me to play the side. The total, again, I don't like that there's a game tomorrow because so far this season in that scenario, unders are over 60%. But Oklahoma City has went over 7 games in a row with their games averaging 250 points. So it's another one where I'm going against 2 things that I like. So I have to go to the player prop market here, and I will look towards Vucevic. Really, whenever the Thunder play, I want to look towards somebody to go grab some boards in the game. And Vucevic, he's cleared this 11.5 number his last 3 meetings versus the Thunder. The only time, and he's been killing it really all year. The only times he doesn't grab those boards is when he's playing a really good rebounding team. Like the last game versus Milwaukee, we know they're top rebounding team. He played 2 games versus the Pelicans with JV on the other side, and he didn't get there. And his matchup for his Joker, he didn't get there. If you just take away those 4 games, he's cleared this number 8 in a row. And OKC doesn't have anybody that's going to, challenge him or give him any problems. So Vucevic over 11.5 rebounds is my play for this one.
All right, Vucevic over rebounds. Billy, what are you liking here?
Had the hands up. I'm with Skee, man. Get the money on the Vooch rebounds. That is the spot to attack here. OKC allows the most rebounds overall and the 7th most rebounds to centers. Play the 3rd fastest pace. Add in everything Skee said about the 8 out of the last 12. And then the 4 misses, they weren't the most advantageous matchups. Those are probably not the matchups you're going to bet Vooch is over on the rebounds. But all aboard that Vooch over 11.5 rebounds. Stamp it.
All right, next up we've got let me just see here. Oh, here we go. Sacramento, Boston. Boston 7.5, 8-point home favorites. 238 the total here in this game. Boston obviously has played pretty damn good basketball for a pretty long period of time. Sacramento got cooled off the other night by the Atlanta Hawks. We'll see if they're able to respond here and rebound in this one. 10-7. I mean, you got to give the Kings credit for that. But Boston here bounced back strong after the loss to Chicago, beat up Dallas 125-112 in that game. We'll see if they can follow that up here. Is this a potential flat? That's the only thing that I'm wondering about here for Boston. Do they bring it here for 48 minutes? They're off that big win against Dallas. Keep in mind, like, that was a kind of a tricky spot. Sacramento on a back-to-back. They had the upset against Memphis the night before. Next night against a rested Atlanta team at home, they fell flat in that game. I kind of want to take the Kings plus the points here because I just was with Boston here against and I remember taking Sacramento, I believe it was last year potentially in Boston, and I think they won outright as under. Yes, they did. It was last March, and it ended up being 107-96 Sacramento. So I'm kind of leaning Kings, but do I want to step in front of Boston? Because I did that with Dallas, and it was you could tell right away. I mean, Boston was ready to go, and they just dominated the Mavs start to finish. I'm probably going to ease off, but I do lean a little to the Kings, just based on the spot for Boston. What do you think here, Skee?
Both of these teams playing really good basketball. It'll be a good game to watch. Both winning 6 of their last 7 games. Both of the top offenses, I think number 1 and number 2. So only way to look at it is, the direction that the total has gone. I want to say, though, you're probably getting the ass into the line now. I think I saw like it opened 232 or 234, something like that. Yeah, it's all the way up to 238.5. I never like getting the ass in, but only way I can look with the way these offenses have been playing is up and over. I was riding Fox assists, but last 2 games he fell off, so I'm off that prop and I'm off this game.
Yeah, a lot of good offensive teams, lots of pace. I agree, but it just felt like it got away too. Yeah, 238, very high number, but yeah, still would have to lean over. What do you think, Bill?
Yeah, this is a tough game to cap, man. I think, like you guys are saying, I think this is a better watch than actual back. There's nothing that really stands out to me. The only thing that would stand out to me here, I think we hit this prop last week against the Pelicans. Boston first quarter team total over 31.5 at -128. That's been cashing for us. I don't know why, but Boston always gets off to these hot starts, and I definitely think this could be another spot where they get off to a hot start. One of the better props. Do you count that as a prop? Team total over?
Yep. Well, not a prop, but yeah, I'd say more side total than a prop.
One of the better totals I like on the board today. I think you're fucking around with yourself, getting yourself into a long sweat if you take a side on this one. But I would lean the points with the Kings, man. Call me crazy. I lean the points with the Kings, but we made some good money fading the Kings last time they played it against Atlanta. So I don't really want to be getting too hot-handed trying to fade the Kings, because I also did bet the Lakers against the Kings before, and that burnt me. And ever since that game, we've been taking it real slow with the Kings.
Yeah, definitely, and they've been impressed. They've definitely outperformed, I think, a lot of people's early season expectations so far this year. Washington, Miami, 3.5 point favorites here. 213 is the total in this game. Like I say, this is a Miami team that's just been ravaged all season, and it really hasn't gotten much better when you look at the injury report for this game tonight against the Wizards. You're talking a Hero game time decision and Strus game time decision. And out again are Robinson, Butler, Martin, Vincent. Dedmon's a game time decision. So it's definitely tough sledding right now for the Miami Heat. There's no doubt about that. This is definitely a ravaged team in terms of the injury situation, and they've had a hard time overcoming it. But they did manage to do that 2 nights ago against Washington, 113-105. I got to believe Washington says, no, you're not doing that again to us twice, not with this beaten up G League type of shorthanded team you've got trotting out there every night. So I did like the Washington side here in a revenge spot. Still a depleted team. I don't think they want to lose to this shorthanded group 2 nights in a row. Credit to Miami for winning the game last time out against Washington, but I don't think it repeats itself here. I like the Wizards. It's gone down a bit, but I still like them at the 3.5 that's out there. And there are still 3.5s out there with the Wizards right now. What do you think here, Skee?
I don't want to be involved in this game. We still got 5 more games after this to talk about, and at least a couple of them is better spots than this. So back with this one.
All right.
All right. How about you, Billy? Passing or got something here?
If I was, able to get a nice little free bet here, free bet would definitely go towards the Wizards. But these two teams are playing too much against each other for me to be feeling real comfortable with a lot of money on one side or the other. And especially with the news of Beal, I'm cool, man. Backwood.
All right.
All right, next up, we've got LA Lakers, San Antonio Spurs. Lakers, 3-point road favorites, 232, the total in this one. One-word analysis from me, and I shit you not, backwood.
All right.
I mean, seriously, who the fuck's laying 3 on the road with the Lakers? I'm not doing that, and I don't want no part of San Antonio right now. None at all. So I'm done with this game. How about you, Skee?
I don't know what's going on with my background here. I don't know what happened.
You're robbing the house, man.
Yeah,
What the hell's happened? Yeah, it looks like the roof's caving in on that mansion of yours. Yeah.
I got to jump out, jump back in or something. I don't know. But what I'll say is usually I'm the one with the one-word analysis, on this game for the Lakers. But you got to play this one, man. You got to play it. Lakers, for one, they have the rest advantage, 2 days to 1. Lakers are playing really good basketball right now for their standards. Last 5 games, I have them top 10 offensive rated, defensive rated, and rebounding team. LeBron is going to be back in the lineup today. I know it's not official, but he is going to play in this game. And the Spurs have just been pathetic. They've been terrible. They started the year, taking everybody by storm. The young guys already in condition, for some of these guys out of shape. And now they've regressed back to the Spurs that we thought they were going to be to start the season. Their last 4 games, they've all lost by 18 plus points. I just think if the Lakers, are going to win anything, they play the Spurs tonight. They play them again tomorrow. I'm willing to bet on both games. If they were to lose tonight, I'll bet them again tomorrow. And if they were to lose to the Spurs twice, you know what I'm saying? Don't talk to me about the Lakers till 2024. But I'm on them tonight. Minus the 2.5 is what I got. And I'm also going to take them in the first half. One thing Lakers have been pretty good at is 11-5 so far against the spread in the first half. Looking at the margins for both of these teams, I have Lakers first half margin at plus 1.6, Spurs at minus 5.8. And if you want to look at more of what they've been doing lately, last 3 games, plus 8 for the Lakers, minus 17.7 for the Spurs. They've been absolutely pathetic. So Lakers first half, Lakers full game. You won't hear me say it too many times, but I'm rocking with them tonight.
All right. I'd honestly take them too before I take the Spurs, but I just figure, you know what? I'm not that dire to bet the Lakers right now. I'm going to lay 3 with them. I know, as sure as fuck, I don't want San Antonio because they look like the lottery team they should have been all season. What do you think here, Billy?
It's Durrell talked about this, man. The Lakers, I don't know why, but they score points early, man. They're the highest scoring team in the NBA currently right now in the first quarter, averaging 38 points per game in the first quarter. We get LeBron back in this one. I know the star comes back. You kind of expect the team to play a little bit slow. No, this team needs LeBron James. And we're only getting 28.5 currently on the books at minus 125 for the Lakers first quarter team total over. I think that's one of the best spots on the card today. We would have to be 10 points off their average in the first quarter for that not to hit. The Spurs don't play a lick of defense. I love that Lakers first quarter team total over 28.5. It's one of my favorite spots on the card.
Oh, liking that Laker team total early in the game. All right, Detroit and Phoenix. The Suns, 12.5-point home favorites, 224 the total in this one. We've got the Pistons have just had a really tough year, 5-15 overall, 2-10 on the road. Yet they have covered 3 straight, and they have actually gone 5-1 ATS their last 6, including a back-to-back set of outright wins against Denver and Utah as underdogs. Scary stuff. And if you're Phoenix, you got a back-to-back. You're playing at home against the Utah Jazz tomorrow night following this game. It's not exactly like this is a maximum effort, maximum focus spot for the Suns. I've been impressed with. I'd actually maybe take a shot on this big dog tonight with the Detroit Pistons. Now, Killian Hayes calf injury questionable. Jaden Ivey questionable with a knee injury. Keep an eye on that. It's a team that's already without Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey, so I don't love the injury situation. But certainly, you could question the Phoenix Suns coming off, Knicks and Lakers and Utah and Golden State, and a lot of big time teams lately and bigger games and bigger opponents than this. And if you take Detroit lightly, they're showing that even with this, patchwork lineup, they've been able to go out there and just battle, on a nightly basis. And will that be enough? They're getting a big number here. So I might take a small shot here with Detroit, plus a big number in a spot where I don't know if you're going to get a game out of the Suns tonight. What do you think here, Skee? Detroit and Phoenix?
Yeah, this analysis will be very short. Phoenix plays again tomorrow. Like you said, I don't think this is the game they're really going to get up for. So I never really want to take Detroit plus the points as a road dog. Haven't really been profitable. But this one situation, it'll probably be the way I go.
Yeah, I'm going to take a shot. I just think in this spot, I've seen it be Detroit. I like what I saw in the Utah and Denver games. Phoenix has the game tomorrow. That's more important. Inside this is a bottom feeder team from the other conference. I think it sets up well for Detroit to just sneak inside the number, hang around just enough. What do you think here, Billy?
I almost threw up in my mouth when I placed the ticket, but yeah, man, this is a Piston spot. This screams Piston spot all over it, man. 8-2 ATS in their last 10 meetings in Phoenix, which is pretty indicating number for me. There was a spot like this last year on the card without Chris Paul, and it was about the same exact situation. And the Pistons covered, man. I think they cover here in this spot tonight. 4-0 ATS, last 4 games against a team with a winning record, and 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games overall. It seems like they're stepping up in competition when they're playing. And you know what? This seems like a spot where you catch Phoenix off of a Thanksgiving dinner, a little bit sluggish to start off. I like the Pistons here in this spot. I would take the points here. I kind of want to split it up first half full game. What do you think about that?
I like it. Like I say, I think you can make a case. You can make a case for Detroit here in this one. I know the Suns are obviously, we know the Suns are the better team, but we know how the NBA works, and you're not going to always have your A game every single night. And this feels like a night for Phoenix where I don't trust them quite fully.
I think I'm with you, and I was mistaken. Maybe the last 2 weeks they just picked it up. Before that, they were terrible, but they're 4-1 against the spread last 2 weeks on the road. So maybe I can get there with you.
Yeah,
7.5 first half.
Yeah, definitely. And you can always split it up first half, full game, because sometimes we see that too. You hang for a half and then you get overwhelmed. But like I said, I think you can make worse bets on the card tonight than Detroit in a spot that I think is plus for them, not so much for the Suns. All right, Utah, Golden State, 8-point favorites, 240 the total. Total's being hammered up in this game, no question about that. And obviously, we saw Golden State get into the 240 or 230s with the Clippers, 124-107. They are playing some good ball at the house, and we know they played good ball at home all season. This Golden State team, what are they? 8-1 straight up at home, especially the last 3 home games, the last 3 home games. San Antonio, Knicks, and the Clippers, all double-digit victories for Golden State. So I ain't stepping in front of the Warriors here. No way I'm doing that. But you do have a Utah team that has also, been hanging around in these games, that hasn't been a type of team that we can say, yeah, they're a team that others are able to blow out. I mean, you look at even in the losses, 9-point loss, 7-point loss, 7-point loss, 7-point loss, 9-point loss. They're not an easy team to beat by margin. And that's probably going to ultimately keep me off the game. But I think in a game where, look, Utah, for better or worse, they push pace. Their games are flying and sailing over the total. 267, 231, 235, and 241 in terms of total points in Utah's last 4 games. So I get it why the total's being bet up a little bit. But there's also, and I know Skee might mention this, that Golden State, they're facing inferior teams at home, and they kind of trend under. But this doesn't feel like an under matchup here, especially the way Utah plays. So I do agree a little bit with the totals moving. I lean Warriors, but something about the Jazz, it's hard to blow this team out. We'll see if the Warriors can do that, because they have blown out their opponent at home the last 3. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, Utah plays Phoenix tomorrow, so it could be, they got to save some of those minutes for the next game as well. And yeah, Golden State at home, we know how dominant they've been. I mean, if you want to just look at the last 2 weeks, 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. They're winning by an average of close to 17 points per game. And the under is 3-1. So they're doing it with defense. And I can only look towards Golden State's way here or the under. Like I mentioned before, when teams have a game the next day, the under is above 60% so far this season. One of those two ways. Maybe I'll get to the window later tonight.
Golden State and under, and certainly San Antonio, New York, Clippers, the last three that they've played at home, it's been Golden State, and the games have all stayed. Well, the Clippers game went over, but Knicks and San Antonio both stayed under the total, those two. All right, what do you think here, Billy?
I lean the Warriors first half. They look like they got off to a really hot start against the Clippers in the first half in their last game, 66-47. But I think the best move here is the team total over 123.5. I expect a lot of points to be scored in this one. They've been covering their team total over in their home games. Seems like a little bit of an advantageous number at 123.5, but I think it goes over. I think the Warriors handle the business. If they cover the spread or not, that's why you hit that team total over. There's a lot of ways I can get there tonight. This could be a barn burner where it goes into OT and you might be able to luck out. This could be one where they end up blowing them out like they did in the Clippers the last game. We're here talking about this game, and the final score ended up being 124-107. I mean, those are the type of games that you get at home from this Golden State Warriors squad. It would be team total over for me or nothing.
All right, last game on this massive slate for a Friday night here in the NBA. We've got Denver Nuggets, LA Clippers. The Nuggets 3.5 point road favorites here, 18.5 being the total. Denver played OKC the other night, won in overtime, 131 to 126. Keep in mind that night for the Nuggets, there was no Jamal Murray on the floor. For them. It looks like he will be back tonight, KCP. It looks like Jokic is going to play as well. He was a game-time decision, but he's been upgraded. Michael Porter Jr. will be a game-time decision for the Nuggets in this game. You've also got Ish Smith and game-time decision, Jeff Green, Bones Highland remaining out for the Denver Nuggets. You've got the trio of Kennard, Paul George, and wheelchair Kawhi Leonard, all of them out for the Clippers for this game tonight. So that's obviously problematic. They had lost to Golden State 124-107 on Wednesday night. They're looking about, they had won 3 straight prior to that. Does feel like a good bounce back spot for the Clippers here tonight in this game. Still, Jokic's going to play. Obviously, we know that. The number's up to 3.5. I don't know if I've got it in me to take the Clippers here, but I'm kind of leaning that way now at plus 3.5 off the loss to Golden State. But again, they're without Paul George and Kawhi once again tonight. But I don't know if I'm all that enamored and excited about laying 3.5 with Denver here in this spot. What do you think here, Skee? Nuggets and Clippers?
I mean, when I just look at it on paper, I feel like the Nuggets are clearly have the better talent on the floor in this one. Jokic finally back, Murray back, etc. Going up against Clippers team without their 2 star players. So only way I would look would be the Denver side. Haven't quite got there yet. I don't know why. I think I maybe overlooked this game so far this morning, but I'm gonna try to find ways to back Denver here. I'm not a big believer in what the Clippers have been doing, and a healthy Denver team, I think they can start to make a push.
Yeah, this is one of those games where I think Denver wins too. Like I think, but at the same time, I knew it was around a pick 'em early, and now it's minus 3.5, and it wouldn't shock me if like Denver wins by like 2 or 3. So that's why I think the move to 3.5, it's significant enough where it tempers my enthusiasm on the Nuggets. But you're right, it's hard to back the Clippers with who's out, and if they have Murray and Jokic, the 1-2 combination there, inside-outside presence for the Nuggets, and it looks like they will. It could be hard to handle if you're the Clippers without who they've got. What do you think here, Billy?
I'm with you, man. I love this spot here for the Nuggets. Even though they're 2-6 ATS in their last 8 games overall, it seems like they give a fuck about teams that are actually good. They're 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games against teams with above 600 record. And I think this just sets up for a good spot here for the Nuggets. We joked around a little bit earlier about some of these Americans and Europeans and about their Thanksgiving celebrations. Jokic was chilling at the crib with Big Bro while Big Bro was smoking on the cigars, fat backwoods, and have one rolled up for this one because we're about to cash this Denver Nugget mile high ticket tonight because they're going to smack the Clippers. This should be at 5.5, 6. So I think this 3.5 is a good number. I think this is a recency bias spot without Bones Highland and Michael Porter Jr. still day to day. Maybe some people thought on paper maybe the Clippers are covered. I think the Nuggets smash here in this spot, regardless, without those role players being in here. 5-2 last 7 meetings in Los Angeles. Nuggets mile high, baby.
Mile high. Yeah. Rocky Mountain high. There we go. Denver Nuggets -3.5 against the LA Clippers for Billy. All right. That is the Friday slate. It's a massive one. Good timing because I know we've got Dabby Cab and Connor Mack on deck in 5 minutes with college basketball net profit. Make sure you tune in. Thanks to Dabby Cab for filling in for me. It's been a busy day of shows, so that's why I decided we'll take today off and we'll give Dabby Cab the opportunity on that show. So that's coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit the like button, 226 live viewers. We appreciate it. Run it up. Hit that like button. We appreciate it very much. Make sure you let everybody know how much you enjoy the NBA Pub Hub show and every show here on Pub Sports Radio. We will wrap things up with best bets coming up after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. Southtown 101, when you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, and manscaped.com. 20% off your purchase, Lawnmower 4.0 or any Manscaped product. 20% off with promo code PubSports. And make sure you're a member of the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. $18 a month, or $4.99, I should say, a month. 18 cents a day, $4.99 a month for that. So make sure you become a member of the Pub Sports Radio YouTube channel. All right, it is time for best bets. And is that a Trotwam sighting in the chat? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Best bet for him is Halliburton over assists as well. So that is a popular player prop, which means it's probably a good player prop tonight. It wouldn't shock me because Halliburton's been the straw that has stirred the drink this year for that Indiana Pacers group. So good to see Trotwam. Trotwam will be back with us on Monday, the OG Monday edition of the NBA Pub Hub. Next week to kick off the week with me, Skee, Wham, and Dutch. So the original crew, as always, every Monday on the NBA Pub Hub. All right, best bets. Let's start with you, Skee. What do you like for best bet?
Yeah, man, I might as well go ahead and do it because y'all not going to hear me say this too many times. Lakers, full game. Also, Lakers, first half. We're gonna double up on them this time versus Spurs. If we can't beat the Spurs, man, who can we beat? Break up the team right now. Lakers.
There is some truth to that. Like, as much as we shun the Lakers and rip them and criticize them, how do you not beat this San Antonio team right now? There is some truth to that. Skee says tonight's the night for the purple and gold to show out. Lakers first half, full game for Skee with best bet for this Friday. Billy, what are you liking for best bet?
Yeah, we'll give you two best bets here. I'm with Skee on that, man. Lakers first quarter team total over 28.5, highest scoring team in the NBA in the first quarter so far. And best side that we're going to go with today is the Nuggets -3.5, mile high for Denver.
There you go. Best bet there for Billy Briz. And my best bet, look, it's boring, it's redundant, it's repetitive. It's the same bet that I've been going with repeatedly. But, hey, we're trying to get a winner with the best bet. We're trying to pat our wallets and profit. And it's been working. We're coming back to it tonight. Chicago, Oklahoma City over 232. The Thunder just continue to be a high-scoring group. They play very carefree right now, and not a whole lot of defense either. And I could see Chicago, after beating Boston, beating Milwaukee, actually looking like they were locked in on defense in those two games. Now you play Oklahoma City, a lesser team. I could see them, going back to the way the Bulls play defense more often than not. Here in this game tonight. So Chicago, Oklahoma City over 232 for my best bet on this Friday card. And that'll wrap it up for this edition of the NBA Pub Up and the week. But stay tuned. We've got Dabby Cab, Connor Mack, college basketball net profit coming up next here on Pub Sports Radio. And we've also got Dabby Cab and Razor Sharp with live bet stream tonight for Florida State the rivalry game in college football. So make sure you join them for that. I will be back with Connor Mack, Big Ragu, DJ Big Boss Saturday morning for College Football Pub Hub. Make sure you tune in for that as well. Believe there's UFC this weekend, right, Billy? There's got to be. Usually
no UFC this weekend. We are rolling off with the PFL, starting off in about, I think, an hour away from now. Championship card, pay-per-view. We're riding with Kayla Harrison and Sabu Sai tonight, -130 parlay. If you're looking for a straight bet, Ante Delasha inside the distance, -150 in the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, Friday's usually PFL and or Bellator night, and PFL taking center stage tonight on the Octagon. So there you go. Great stuff. Great week. Thanks to everyone. Hit the like button. Stay tuned for Dabby and Connor Mack with College Basketball Net Profit. For Billy Briz and Skee Profit, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday night, a great weekend. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will talk to you again Monday for another edition of the NBA Pub Up right here on Pub Sports Radio.